여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자 그런 반전 있는 여자 너는 선호해 낮에는 너만큼 따사로운
Okay, keep in mind, I really do hate that song, but I gotta play it for the fans. So, anyways, we're back on the Kyle Lodi Sports and a Thunder Show. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. This is the podcast, first episode of the Kyle Lodi Sports Thunder Show, podcast style. And I'm Kyle Lodi, of course, and Nick's just coming out of the bathroom, and he's Stockton Thunder. But we'll get to that part like way later in the show because we will have Stockton Thunder segments, of course, coming up. Of course, with yours truly. But let's talk about some of the NBA trade deadlines that might have happened, but nothing really major went on.
The NBA trade this year was weird.
The only thing that I saw that was even close to a big deal was J.J. Redick being traded from the Magic to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-team trade in a 6-player deal.
But that right there of all teams too is the Bucks.
All right, so here's what happened. They traded J.J. Redick along with center Gustavo Ion, reserve point guard Ish Smith to the Bucks in exchange for guards Duran Lamb and Beno Udrich, as well as Tobias Harris.
That right there, for me, is kind of a mistake for Milwaukee because those players...
And Orlando also acquired Hakeem Warwick and also Josh McRoberts.
Well, that's pretty good, but what Milwaukee did was kind of a mistake because I've seen in some games, I've actually watched a game that Milwaukee had, and Lamb actually is a pretty good player. And he really is one of the players that you really want as a performance kind of a thing for your team.
Mm-hmm.
And to lose him... For JJ, a guy who's been known to get hurt in the first 10 seconds of a game.
No, not so. I mean, when it was rookie year, yeah, but it wasn't so much then.
But still, it's still
excuse me, but it's not so much now.
But still, he's still known for it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is going to bring in Milwaukee fans are just probably like that's like saying this. Okay, we're going to take Kobe and we're going to trade him to the Heat. And for the Heat we're gonna get LeBron James. Can you imagine
the cap room wouldn't be enough anyways.
It would not be. And can you imagine what the fans would be saying?
Well,
on both sides.
I'm not even gonna comment there, but
exactly that's what's going on right now with this. It's just something I wouldn't have done. I don't think that Lamb is a JJ Redick.
Okay, so Josh Smith was not traded. Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, they were not traded either. So they were talking about trade rumors around there, with them being traded and all.
It wasn't going to happen.
And they said KG from the Celtics, they said that he could go to Oklahoma City in exchange for some players, but obviously that did not happen.
No.
I mean, the NBA trade line, if I just had to describe it in one word, it would be boring.
Yeah.
It was the most boring deadline deal ever. I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was. And also, for me, it was also one of them deals that could have started a kind of
as the call ended there.
It could have started another civil war between that because if you look at it right there, the players that you're looking at, you would have to offer a good amount of money before they even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, like for me, the Celtics right now, even though I know there's plenty of probably fans who are watching this who are Celtics fans, the Celtics are dying.
They, with their old age, and of course, Rondo's the only best player they got left. Pierce, he's still got like a couple of years. Actually, Rondo's out for the year with the torn ACL. Actually,
exactly, but how many times but even before the ACL injury, how many times has he been injured? That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the only time I can think of he's been injured, but they all have is Paul Pierce left, and then they have, KG, and then they no longer have Ray Allen. Ray Allen's like down south on South Beach.
Yep.
And you're looking at a team who used to be good and still got the rivalry with the Lakers and all that. And then you see this team.
That's not a rivalry. That's a war.
Obviously, well, okay, whatever. But same thing. The team's falling apart.
They are, and the coaching's not helping either. The coach doesn't really do
Doc
much.
Rivers. I mean, he does do a lot more than you think he does. I mean, Doc Rivers, he's a guy you can respect.
But in the game, he's not really there. It's like he's just like, yeah, come on, let's just like this. But if you look at at the Laker game, this is all I saw him doing. But then you look over on the Lakers side, you have this tornado of like go to, and you just have this tornado with the coaching. And
you're talking about Mike D'Antoni.
Yeah, and it's just and if you look at it, it helps. If you have a coach that actually,
I don't really like the hiring of Mike D'Antoni, to be honest. I mean, I don't think he's helping the team along with I know Dr. Jerry Buss's son. I mean, he's kind of not helping with the team either like his father did. But I'm just saying this from personal-wise, as you look at it from a certain perspective, I think they got to get rid of D'Antoni.
Which I hear they are after this year. I
well,
don't know if that's true. But
it depends on what's going to happen.
But what I'm saying is Doc needs. I just think Doc he's lost it. He's been there too long, and he's too old. They need a new coach. That's what I'm saying. The Celtics need a new coach.
Well, again, Doc Rivers' veteran presence. I mean, you look at him. He's obviously got a championship ring on his finger.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
And then you got Paul Pierce and then KG. Well, that's the only players they got. I mean, they have a. Speaking of which, they did trade for somebody. I'm gonna see if I can pop that up here. Let me see where it's at. I gotta go back a page real quick. Yeah, it happens. You gotta go back and then bring a page. Yeah. So the Celtics did acquire Jordan Crawford from the Washington Wizards, I believe.
Which could actually be a pretty good. That could actually help, but they need more.
Let's see, from the Wizards for guard Leandro Barbosa and setter Jason Collins.
Now,
so it's pretty interesting.
But
Barbosa, he's out for the remainder of the 2012-2013 season. And for more information, I'm going to play this video right here.
Now they know who they have. They have their team. They have their coach. They got 27 games to go. They can get rid of some of the drama. They still have some drama out there, but the less drama they have, the better chance they're going to have to make that playoff run. Chris, I'm going to say Milwaukee. They weren't the huge winners they wanted to be by getting Josh Smith and J.J. Redick. But getting J.J. Redick helps. He's a shooter who should play well off Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis. He'll obviously probably come in off the bench and be that sixth man. But in the event that you lose Monte Ellis as a free agent, he can opt out of his deal this summer as well. If he goes elsewhere, you've got a great shooter in J.J. Redick who can step in there and take his place. I'm going to go Indiana with the Pacers. Didn't make a deal, but who do they get back? Danny Granger, a difference maker. Now they can compete with the Miami Heat. Words out of Indiana, he looks good, he's healthy, and coach, two dynamic wing players to match up with Miami's wings. They got a real shot to give Miami fits and to advance to the finals. Ooh.
As far as losers go, in addition to everyone on Twitter who was hoping for a big splash flip, who were some of the big losers?
Well, as a player, I'm going with Smith. Why? Because he did not want to be there. He made it. He wants the max. He wanted to get out of there. It's evident other teams weren't ready to make that commitment. As a team, I'm going with the Nets. Why? They wanted to dance, but they couldn't get anyone to dance with them. And they've got the money. They want to make trades, but they can't get anyone to pull the trigger with them. Chris? I'm going to say Atlanta. I'm not going to kill them because who knows? Maybe they'll have a great summer in free agency. They'll have plenty of cap room. But Danny Ferry went there, took over as GM recently, and he wanted to go after Dwight Howard and Chris Paul with cap space this summer. They're not going to get either one of those guys. Now, if you get Al Jefferson and Monte Ellis or something like that, you add them with Al Horford, maybe you're a decent team. But right now, today, I say they're a loser. Well, I got to go to my old team down in Memphis. And it goes back to giving away Rudy Gay. I mean, they had the best front line in basketball. They had gotten under the luxury tax, and they gave their dynamic wing away to Toronto a few days ago, and it just breaks their chances, right? That Dexter Pittman move isn't going to make up for it. Ain't going to make up for it. That's right. So some tears in Memphis. I think they're one of the big losers.
And I was going to bring that to my next point. Right here. There we go. That was going to bring to my next point. Was Rudy Gay going to Memphis? Or not going to Memphis, but he got traded from Memphis to Toronto.
That right there could be.
So that's why you said Toronto could have a shot.
Exactly.
With Rudy Gay.
But what I'm saying is this though. But I do not believe that. Sure, Indiana now has a chance to compete again. The Pacers have a chance.
They could.
They have a chance. But if you look,
they can give them misfits if they can actually play defense and then just absolute.
But
in a 7-game series, if they can give them problems on their court, they have a shot at winning.
But that's the problem. I have not seen defensive game from Indiana. I've seen mostly offense. And when you look at Indiana, it's like the Pacers. They're having a pretty good season, but they're not really. It's like this. I would say they're a third place team. Do I think that them and Miami are gonna face off against each other? No way. No way.
It could happen, but
if
like
it
I
does,
said,
Miami would probably come out with the win anyway. But it's just like I don't see it. Like Indiana has to do a lot more work before they can actually get to where they need to be. They're in the middle. They're not that.
They're number 3 seed, and they're looking pretty strong to me.
But they're in. What I'm saying
Danny
is,
Granger, he could help them.
Okay, I'll put it like this. We'll look at cars. I'll use a car as an example. Okay.
Oh Lord.
And I'm saying this to you: Mercedes versus a Ford. Who would you say?
That's kind of a weird combination to put it that way.
But who would you say?
I was going to say like Mercedes versus a Chevrolet or something like that.
All right, Mercedes versus Chevy. Who do you think?
Obviously, if I had to pick a car, just like if I had to pick something that's better than everything else, I'd probably go with a Chevy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
For performance and efficiency and stuff like that. And it's the same thing if you look at the Pacers and the Miami. The Miami is the Chevy, Pacers are the Mercedes. Because look at the performance that the Miami does, and the fact that Miami trains really, really hard. Like I've actually seen some of their training stuff on there. Miami is got one of the best, and I'm not saying I'm not saying this because it's like Cowboy Nick is on Miami's side. No, I'm just saying that Miami has one out of all the teams in the NBA, even next to the Lakers, has one of the best training performances that they do in the off season. They train from the moment the season ends till the season starts. They don't just have a break. That team, they start camp early and everything. And that's what makes a team good. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, you put it right to the point there. You took some of the words right out of my mouth, but hey, it's true.
But you compare that to the Pacers. The Pacers don't start camp until right in the very later than very later, and it doesn't give them much time to actually have teams who start earlier doesn't give them the time that other teams who start earlier in the season in their training camp to actually do that. And I think that's what's killing the Pacers is the fact that they don't train enough, they don't practice enough, and they don't do enough to actually prepare for the game that you have to play. Road or home, the Pacers are not performing as well as they should.
And you're saying that you're comparing them to the Heat, right?
Miami, who does perform pretty well on the road and at home.
Actually, hold on, let me see, before we go to break, I want to see who's got the better road record between all the teams in the East and the West. So let me pop this standings up here real quick. There we go. And when I'm looking at road records, I believe that Chicago in the East has the best road record, with Miami having the best home record. Miami's okay on the road, but if you're giving a team on the road the edge, I would probably give it to the Bulls, no question.
Exactly. And then if you look at now look at Indiana both home and on the road. If you look at them
home and the road, you have 11-16 on the road and 22-5 at home. And when you look to the West, San Antonio is just obviously there's nothing much to say.
22 on the road and at home.
Exactly. And especially with a team like that, oh my God, they're so dominating.
But I'm going to say this in the West, though. I'm going to say this in the West. San Antonio does not have the best home record. In the West, I have to give it to Oklahoma.
Well, comparing the two losses, and then the two losses San Antonio has, and then Oklahoma City has got 23 home wins, but you got to give it to the least of the home losses, and obviously the Spurs have that. Less losses, 2 less losses than Oklahoma City.
But Oklahoma City having 23 wins at home.
But they played more home games than San Antonio has.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm trying to bring at.
Correct.
So So who would you have the edge to if San Antonio was playing Oklahoma City?
I would have to give it to. I would have to say.
Like you said with the Spurs, obviously.
Yeah, I would have to.
You would
because-
say the Spurs. But then again, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Really in the West, it's like in the West, it's kind of when it's right now. It's like Wheel of Fortune. You don't know what number it's going to land on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Jeopardy, like if you land on a daily double or something.
But
But anyways, we'll be right back here on the Kyle Lloyd Sports and Thunder Show. Coming up, we got some MLB updates and predictions, of course, from the 2012 and 2013 season coming up. Actually, I shouldn't say 2012. That's alright, but they only played through 1 year, so what the hell am I saying? So, anyways, we'll be right back. Kyle Lodi Sports and Thunder Show. We're on for at least 1 more hour after this segment, so we'll be right back. Stay tuned, guys.